We are live. We're live. I'm by myself right now. So let's start off by saying hello to people. From 5 hours ago, Steve Park, what's up? Patrick in Sweden, I don't know how far. What's up? Chauncey, Piper, Chauncey, Chris, and Matt. There you go. So far, we have a lot more people here. Oh, and there's Richard James. He never met a live stream he didn't comment in. Yes. Hello. We have Germans. We have Germans. I don't know if it's like clockwork. I try and be on time. I'm always early. What's up, bro? And George, how you doing? So how's everyone doing? How was everyone's weekend? Even though it's Tuesday, how was everyone's Monday? What did you do for Easter? I had an interesting week. Easter. What did I do on Easter? What's up, Nick? Michael Poetry on Plastic came into town for a short visit, and a bunch of people he knows here hung out, and we met up to go record shopping. And one of his buddies, well, hold on. There's Harry. What's up, Harry?
Everything that ain't down.
Well, why do you sound like a sidekick on a 70s cop show? Now, so what happened on Sundays? We met up with Poetry. His buddy, we went to Safari, then we went to Atomic, and his buddy comes in and says, "Hey, I met this dude who is a art dealer guy, and he also deals in high-end audio equipment, and he has a compound somewhere in LA, and he says we can come over, that he has 7 different listening rooms on his compound."
Wow.
Yes. So we went over to this guy's place, and it is a compound.
Is it the Swan Ranch?
No, it's in a populated area of LA, but it's a compound. I'm not, my head doesn't work on how much acreage people live on, but it's big. And what he has, I guess it's a colonial, but it's very cabin style wood. And he has a main house, and then about 6 areas. There's a backyard with a pool, and surrounding it there is a guest house area, and then he kind of combines him showing like artists, like when they do shows on the property, so it's a workable space. But each space with the art is a high-end audio system in there. So he has this thing about combining the two. And even in the house, he brought us into his bedroom. Every room has a turntable, a setup, very high-end equipment, and it's quite, jaw-dropping. I can show a few pictures. I think Michael Poetry shot video of our visit, and he's probably going to put out a video on his channel. I just took a few pictures. So let me pull up what I found, what I took. So here's one space there. So he combines, like, the art that's in each environment is a current artist he's doing a show of. And then that's the setup in this room. I didn't take all 7 pictures of all 7. This one's kind of cool. Look at this stuff.
Now, did you listen to music in every room?
Yes.
Was there your favorite? They're just all good.
I mean, this was the most personable room. I don't think he It's more his kind of looks like it's a workable space. Look at those speakers, man.
Wow.
Yeah. So we the one that impressed me the most. Let's see if I took a picture of that.
That's true, Big Ian.
What?
Some people have too much money.
I mean, I don't know. Listen, this guy didn't act like he was foo-fooing and showing off. That was not his deal. In fact, I think he's new to vinyl. He is an art dealer. That's his main deal. And he felt that to just make his shows distinctly different, because look at those, you can say that the creation, what's up, Jim? The creation of these speakers and stuff, they're very artistic looking, creations. He didn't come off that way. And in fact, he even said, look, I don't know a lot about the music and stuff like this, but I mean, he knows the equipment because he's a dealer, and he knows the name. He knows stuff I don't know because that's not my deal. And if Jim kind of chickened out, but he had to take care of a dog. But if Jim came to this place, his jaw would have been dropped. He would have said, I need to upgrade my system. But wait till Michael shows the video he shot and the guy talking. And then we went out to lunch and he came with us. He's a regular dude. This guy's name's Stefan. And hopefully, I do more stuff going over and experiencing his whole setup. But I'm glad I went. It was kind of the way it was presented because Jim was there when Poetry's friend Michael was talking about it. He's the guy who kind of facilitated us meeting the guy. It sounded like we were going to a Bond villain's lair. That's the way it was described. But no, the guy was very personable, very nice, very welcoming. He didn't come off like a
nice
elitist or anything like that. So.
Hey, Jim, you're being stalked.
Promise? Where?
There's a big fan following you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man. I just told a good story about looking at this, and Harry finishes
Harry just crapped all over it.
All over it.
But
I told your Costco casket.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, a couple times.
That's good.
But that was it was a good experience. It was fun. And then we went, Michael's husband is Mrs. LA, and he misses Hong Kong style dim sum. We went to a place I never went to before, and it was good. He picked the whole menu we ate, and it was good.
I like dim sum. Well, of course, my wife is Chinese, so yeah, we have dim sum quite a bit.
This place, when I go with Jim when he picks up his paper after it's printed, and it's in El Monte in the San Gabriel Valley, where all the best Chinese is in LA. I mean, I grew up on East Coast Jewish Chinese food. The real Chinese food is here, and it's like shit swimming around in your bowl. But
so you used to get dim sum like every Christmas then?
No, I never ate dim sum growing up. That wasn't a thing on the East Coast. It was
you get a poo-poo platter.
You got Peking duck, you got the pancakes, you got mushi pork, you got big fat egg rolls this size. That was like white people's Chinese.
My duck is a Peking duck. My duck is Gladys is a Peking duck.
There's Chinese restaurants that we don't go to because my wife says, no, that's Chinese food for Americans. I'm not eating there.
That's what I grew up. There's one restaurant I found in LA that comes a little close to doing East Coast white people Chinese food. That's when I go back east. That's the kind I grew up on. But the stuff here is authentic stuff. So and this place was good. I've never really had a proper soup dumpling, and I did the other day. Those are quite good. So
was Jeremy happy with it? Was good?
That place, that was his place. In fact, Jim, remember we went into a place in Pasadena and it was just too crowded. It was a small place.
Yeah.
It's the same restaurant. They have a big one in
Oh,
Alhambra. So,
all right. We'll have to do that.
yeah, I mean, if you the thing that doesn't really get out about LA is truly how culturally diverse
Yeah.
it is in the food, the cuisine of each culture. Because I think you can get, well, you know what? Oh, I have another story to tell. So that happened Sunday. Saturday, I went with Delphina to this record store, PM Sounds. The original owner had passed away, and he was a very beloved figure in the LA record store scene, I guess. Jim knew him well.
Nice
And
guy.
they and his two nephews have kind of taken over the business. I think they plan to open on the weekends, maybe, or at least one day a week. But they were doing a celebration of his life all day on Saturday. And Delphina and I went and dug around. I'll show some records I picked up. And I picked up some kick-ass stuff there. That's in San Pedro, which is one of the port areas in LA where you can get on cruise ships. And next to Long Beach, that's where everything you probably buy that comes into the country comes through. That's one of those ports.
Oh yeah.
So that was cool, and I picked up a lot of good stuff there. So
You know, gas is like a lot cheaper down there, just because it's so much closer to the port.
well, that I don't think that makes gas cheaper. They refine it. There's a
They
refiner.
refine it right there, and it's like 50
Well,
cents.
actually, they refine it in Torrance.
Yeah.
It's $3.99 a gallon here.
I don't know if gas. Well, I have an electric car, so I don't pay attention.
Oh wow.
I'm
Excuse me.
an elitist.
Yours burns on coal.
Well, the electrics produce somehow, so I don't know
That's
how.
right. You're killing the birds with the wind turbines just so you can drive an electric car. Hope you feel good about yourself, Rob.
Yes, I do. Every time I drive somewhere and give someone the finger, I feel so they celebrate life.
Can I show what I bought yesterday? I hit a record store.
Well, I was telling the story. I guess.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Harry's feelings are
wake
more
me up when you're done. Ooh.
Well, I have a stack of records to show, but they're probably better than
Go ahead.
They're probably better than yours, so you be the opening act.
Okay, hold on. Okay, I only bought 2 records yesterday.
Okay.
This is a Springsteen bootleg I've never seen before. And it was not listed on Discogs. I had to put it on there. I Googled it. I couldn't find any information about it at all. Wow. It's early stuff when he was with a band that he had called Steel Mill. So it's like 1971. The record's in mint shape. It was $18, so I picked that up. All right. And then this is really cool. This is a first pressing, still in shrink wrap with the quad hype sticker. But the very first pressings, they didn't have the song titles on the back. So they put another hype sticker on the shrink wrap. And this is pretty rare. So this I've got up on eBay already. I've already got a quad pressing of it.
I distinctly remember when because that had to be one of the first things they simulcasted by satellite in arenas.
What a terrible photo, though.
I don't know, but I distinctly remember. That's Fat Elvis. I distinctly remember when that happened, because I grew up not far from the main arena in DC.
And then I bought
advertising that.
They had a bunch of reel-to-reel tapes, and they had really good prices on most of them.
Where was this at?
This was at Rainy Day Music in Olympia, Washington. They bought a reel-to-reel player, and the guy sold his tapes along with it. They had like 4 jazz titles that were nice that I would have liked to have bought, and they were all under $20. But when I read the back of the box, he had written on it, and he had added stuff on the tape somehow. So I didn't buy those. I didn't want those. But I did buy one of my favorite albums. I love this record.
Yeah.
John Barleycorn. This was like $18. And I had never listened to this album all the way before. This is a good record. I really enjoyed it. It's a US. They didn't make this in the UK. This is kind of almost like a Beatles thing where they just put together an album for the US. But this is pretty good. This was the score of the day right here. 7.5 IPS.
Oh,
Layla.
nice.
I think I paid $28 for this.
Yes.
Two of them was sold on eBay for like $250 to $300.
Why did they price them so low? Do you think?
I don't know.
I just didn't bother looking at it.
And there's one on eBay right now. The guy's asking $1,000 for it. I already had this, but I picked this up because it was like $18.
I have
So
that.
this is one I'll flip. And then I already had this one, but it was cheap enough that I picked it up. Let's see, you can see.
Nice.
And then they had a stack of other reels that were every one of them was over $100. So I
were they?
Like the Beatles Revolver.
Oh yeah.
Oh, they had the Beach Boys Wild Honey, which I really wanted because that's a good album, but they wanted like $70 for it.
How much does that go for?
That's about the right price.
I have never seen prices that cheap down here on Real.
The score of the day, without a doubt, was the Beatles England by Mr. Norman Mazur.
Oh, wow.
Do you already have a copy of that? Do you already?
I do, but Rob, if you want this, it's yours.
All right.
That's
I
the
do.
one.
You know what?
autographed.
I do, and I'm very upset that Mazzy had never offered me a copy of it.
It was autographed, Rob.
It was?
It's autographed.
But my name's not Jerry.
I'm going to fix all that. I'm going to change it. I'm going to cross it out and put Rob, and then I'll cross out Merry Christmas and put Happy Hanukkah, and then I'll put my name there, and then I'll change the date. So it'll be just as good.
And then can you add Mazzy's name?
Yeah. So I went down there with Elk Boy, and he always finds me good stuff. I'm over looking at the vinyl, and he says, "Hey, you need to come over here and look at these reel-to-reels."
Well, now here's a question for you, Harry. Wasn't there a whole shelf full of those books there?
No, that was it. And I had to fight a guy to get it.
You did?
It was not pretty, but I won because I knew you wanted it, Rob.
Thank you. Well, you come through, Harry. Mazzy, not so much.
Mazzy's busy. Mazzy's he's up there with Westman and Bob Donnelly talking about.
Hey, he just had his 10 millionth view. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, that's pretty.
That's something to be proud of.
Listen, this inevitably what happens when you meet Mazzy. He has no recollection of meeting you.
Well, I think it was Daniel Bacon that signed it, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, does it smell like bacon?
Oh, wait a minute. No, this is David Bacon. Mazzy, this is your partner that signed it.
Right.
I know.
Yeah, so I'm not going to I won't mess with it. I'll just get Mazzy to sign it, and then I'll send it to you, Rob.
Okay.
But actually, I might keep this for myself. Because Jerry sounds a lot like Harry.
Can you do me a favor, Harry?
I'll send you my other one.
Can you just wait outside Mazzy's house for him to come out to sign it?
Yeah, David Bacon. Yeah.
Hey, all right.
Didn't realize it till just now.
I'm showing the records I picked up on Saturday. So
okay, now everybody, I want you to pay attention. It won't be as interesting as what I showed, but at least be kind.
But this is from PM Sounds.
Most of them, I did pick up a couple from Atomic. So some are mixed in from Sunday, but this is mostly a PM Sound. So I found an OG mono of this Kenny Dorham record on Riverside. In fairly decent, and he priced a lot of records on the wall, but there was a section that he forgot to get to. So he goes, "Man, you're making me price these on the spot." So I got a good deal on most of these. So this record's great. It's Cannonball Adderley, Cecil Payne, Cedar Walton. It's a good record. I have an OJC of this already, so this is great. All right, this is a good record too. If you ever see it, this is Philly Joe Jones and Elvin Jones, two jazz drummers, and they're playing. It's two drums on the whole album together, and it's a mono. And this is a good record. And it's Hank Mobley, Blue Mitchell, Curtis Fuller, Wynton Kelly, and Paul Chambers. This is really good. So I always say it's really good. This is this is a hard to find record. Down to Earth, Freddie Roach on Blue Note. This is a 1970 pressing. Van Gelder. Percy French, Kenny Burrell, Freddie Roach, and Clarence Johnston. So not an easy record to find. Actually, Delphina pulled this out. She handed it to me, so she was very nice about that. This Lee Comments record arranged by Jimmy Jufrey, you and Lee. And this is on Verve. There's a kind of orchestra behind it, but this is very good. I enjoyed this a lot. There he is on the back. So that's cool. This record's a cheap record, but it's excellent. They had two pristine copies of it. This Jack Wilson trio with Philly Joe Jones, Leroy Vinegar, this mono. This is the excellent record if you ever find it. It's not that expensive at all. So I would grab that. Okay, put those over there. He gave me this for free because the cover is shot. But this is a hard record to find, this Walter Benton quintet on Jazzland. But the record's in decent condition. It's in nice shape. Just the cover is trashed. I have not cleaned and listened to this yet. I have to do that. This was cool. I found this promo copy of the soundtrack to Anatomy of a Murder. It was upside down. I think I already have a promo copy of it, but look at this 6-eye promo. That was kind of cool.
Oh, wow, that's nice.
Yes. And this is clean as hell. So I'll probably put that in the auction this Saturday, doing an auction Saturday. This is a later Chet Baker record with Mike Milello on Soul Note from '86. I've never seen this record before. And I think it's an orchestra behind them on this. So I've not listened to this yet. Okay, so those were the pickups at PM Sound. I'm going to
guess that's not very good, Rob.
It might not be good. I haven't listened to it yet, so I found it. But I did get these two records at Atomic, and this is an OG stereo pressing, Van Gelder of 4 for Train. I already have this in a really good condition one, but this one is just pristine. Both the cover and the record, the vinyl. Whoever had this collection just took care of his records. This is so clean. So I'll probably upgrade my one with this, and then I grabbed this on Sunday. This is maybe a third pressing of this Andrew Hill on Smokestack. I have the Blue Note 80. I think they put this out as an 80. Really good record. And this is a New York label, but like a transition. They used up all the New York labels they had after Liberty purchased Blue Note. So this doesn't have an ear on it, but it's a Van Gelder stereo. So this is kick-ass. This record was not. I mean, as far as Blue Notes go, this was cheap, but not cheap. Not that cheap. And then here's two other records I just picked up on Sunday because we met at Record Safari. I got this Japanese pressing of this Thelonious Monk trio, and this is like a combination of two 10-inches, I believe. So, and then this record's not easy to find. This is this band Circle, live in Germany. Circle was Anthony Braxton, Barry Odschultz, Chick Corea, and Dave Holland. So that's what I found this weekend, or Sunday mainly. So there you go. That was fun.
What's up with Mazzy?
Apparently, He's stuck on the toilet. Did he call
Oh.
911?
Sorry to hear that.
Too bad.
You know what? I'm sure, Harry.
Okay.
I'm sure, Harry, if you wash your hands, get in your car right now, and just wait in front of his house to get that autograph, he'll come out.
Just wait on the deck.
Well, you can't access the deck unless you're in the house.
You can't climb up from the outside.
I could in
do
my
you think
younger
Harry-
days.
Okay.
Do you think Harry's the climbing up kind of guy?
I'm a climbing
Harry served our
down.
country. He can do anything.
Oh, Mazzy has a bad head cold.
And why was that different than any other day for him? You sound
Is there such a thing as a good head cold?
right. It's allergies,
What,
man.
now, I never understand the term head cold. Where else is it going to be?
Oh no, you can get a cold in your elbow.
In your chest. Yeah.
No, but that comes from your head. You're swallowing the phlegm.
Your
You're not
testicles.
getting it out of your system.
You're overthinking this one, Rob.
No, I'm not. All colds are in your head.
It's
I
all in your
had
head.
a cold in my back.
The symptoms of a cold come out of your head.
That's
Mazzy.
right, Nick. You got
Okay.
that right.
All right.
Now you're talking. Hey, Scoozy's ghost.
Yeah.
Morning.
How, Chet? There's no cold that emanates from your chest. It's you swallowing the phlegm that your head creates. The
Post nasal
chest,
drip. My
Yes.
favorite-
Oh, no.
favorite drips.
how does a cold
Mazzy.
in your chest?
I'm going to offer some help here. If you would like me to come down, I can do the voiceover for your next video if you'd like.
Hey, now when you do it, Harry, do it like this.
That would be interesting.
You'll do it like this. Mazzy here. Someone just died, and I'm going to do a video about them.
I found out from him that the Pope died before the news knew it. Okay.
Wow. He's plugged
Hey,
in.
Hey,
Mazzy's
Harry,
plugged
can
in.
you, with your technical abilities, Harry, can you make a little disclaimer video that Mazzy can post on his channel? I'm not posting this week because I have a head cold. You know, I know how
A
Mazzy
bad
caught
head
it.
cold.
I know how Mazzy caught his head cold from Steve Westman. I know they weren't together in the same room,
But
but
still.
you can get viruses from the electronic internet webs.
What's going on with Elliot? Elliot.
He's
Elliot,
sipping.
are you
moonshine.
familiar with Otis Gibbs?
Yes. Yeah. He has great videos. Yeah.
He does. I follow him. I love his stories.
Who's Otis Gibbs? It sounds like an old-time musician.
He's
He tells some great stories and gets people on there that tell great stories.
he knows everybody, and like he did a really good interview with Ray Wiley Hubbard, like a 3-part interview. I like that. But he's got a great voice. He's very calming, and he just tells these great
A working
stories.
musician.
Well, thanks for sharing the link, Harry.
Well, there's a
Working
wall
musician
here.
for many, many years. I think he's from Wisconsin.
Did you want
He's
to?
got a song called
Since
Big
you were showing
Whispers.
some jazz records, Rob,
Yeah.
here's a book that people might be interested in, a big band jazz book. And it's coming back to T-Town, Ernie Fields, big territorial big band leader. And it's written by his daughter, based on the stories that he told her as she was growing up, and interviewing members of this big band over the years, and just put together a really good story. His band went to New York and got discovered by John Hammond, and went to New York for a while, but they they didn't hit it big. They had one song on the radio and did a little bit of recording, but they couldn't get enough work in New York to justify staying there. So they went back to Oklahoma and ran the territory of the Midwest, Oklahoma, Nebraska, all up in that circuit right there. They would do Missouri, places like that. I'm not that deep into it yet, but I'm really enjoying this. So a look at the territorial big bands and what life was like for them. And then he started in the late 1920s and was still touring, I think, around 1970 or so. So just something thought I would share with you guys, because I doubt I'll have enough energy to get on the jazz bums on Friday evening. I'm pretty tired by then, and we cover some jazz here on this one.
I'm tired by then too, and I seem to.
You just power through it. You just power through it, Rob.
Yes, the days are long for
drink
me.
a Red Bull; it'll give you wings.
I don't know. I don't drink that shit. All it is hyped up caffeine drink.
I don't drink that shit either.
I drink the real caffeine.
I mean, if you're going for that vibe, just smoke some meth or something. I don't know.
No drugs for me, except herbal refreshment.
Yeah.
I thought you had records too, Elliot. No?
Oh, I do. I sure do. Probably the most important one. I just did a video on this one. Just arrived, and that's the Rhiannon Giddens and Justin Robinson. What does the blackbird say to the crow? And these are literally field recordings. They recorded it at 3 locations outside. So you hear the birds chirping and singing, and you hear the cicadas making a lot of noise and stuff like that.
Did you hear the cock crowing?
No, I don't guess they were there early enough for that. But
all afternoon.
But it's a collection of 18 tunes, just fiddle and banjo. Giddens playing the banjo and Robinson playing the fiddle. Three tunes with her nephew playing percussion with Bones, and it's a kind of a tribute to Joe Thompson, who was probably the last of the original black string band or old time musicians. He kind of mentored them. This is 2/3 of the Carolina Chocolate Drops, if you remember them. They used to go on Thursday nights, I believe it was, to Mebane, to his home, Joe Thompson's home, and he mentored them and taught them all the old tunes. And so they're preserved and then enhanced over the years through musicians like this. So not only a very entertaining album, a very important album in music, the history of music, especially black string band music, that's kind of been wasn't even much known of until last 20 or 30 years, when more people have discovered it and are know about it more often. So real important. Good. I'll just show you real quick a nice picture of the two of them there.
I get her confused with Brittany Howard for some reason.
I can understand that somewhat, yeah.
But she's
different.
She's completely different kind of music.
Yeah,
she was originally an opera singer.
No,
that's right.
She does like rock blues.
Brittany Howard does, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Rhiannon Giddens does a little bit of everything. She's not just traditional music. She does a lot of different things. She wrote an opera recently, last 5 years or so, that's been performed. She's written musicals. She does torch singing, I guess you'd say. She does some world music. She just does a wide variety of stuff. But we hadn't heard a lot from Justin Robinson since Carolina Chocolate Drops broke up. But he's been doing other things, not as much musically. And another record I'll share with the viewers is a new reissue of Guy Clark's Dublin Blues.
That's a great album.
And this came out
must have.
This came out CD only originally, and it's the 30th anniversary. Their Dual Tone did one pressing of vinyl in about 9 years ago, and then Compass out of Nashville, Compass Records, got the rights. This was originally an Elektra label record, and Compass got the rights to his Elektra catalog, which I believe is 3 albums that he did for Elektra. Really good. I did have some problems with the vinyl. I've got two vinyl copies. The first one had some damage from the pressing. It had some vinyl burrs in it, created real loud popping sounds.
What's the vinyl?
Well, I guess where it cools too fast or something, and you get little within the groove, little pieces of vinyl baked in that are kind of sticking up.
Okay,
and like a burr.
I know the dimples. I've never had a burr.
Well, yeah, that's the explanation. When you hear a real loud popping,
yeah,
that's probably what it is. It's not something like sometimes it could be a organic matter, some sort of dirt or something that got in there, but more often than not, it's something with the pressing. I worked and worked. I had to do a lot, and eventually I got the burr up, and it was just literally a piece of vinyl. I got it up and kept working at it and got it okay. But I had emailed them about it, and they sent me a replacement album, and it plays with a little surface noise, unfortunately, right off the bat, even after multiple cleanings. But you're gonna get that from some of your new vinyl.
I have it on CD, so I'm probably not going to buy the vinyl.
Yeah, understandable. But just Guy Clark was such a meticulous songwriter. One of the things he said was, somebody asked him, how do you know when it's time to make a new album? Thinking along the lines of, when's the right marketing strategy? What at what time do you put something else out? But his answer was much more artist based. He said, when I've got 10 real high quality songs, I've written 10 high quality songs, I know it's time to go in the studio and put out a new album, and not before then. And so he was a Renaissance man. He was a photographer. His
luthier.
He was Lutherer. Is that right? How you say it? He built guitars.
Yeah, made quality guitars.
Yes, and his wife Susanna was a painter, artist painter. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, did she not paint the Stardust cover for Willie Nelson?
Yes, she did.
I was thinking that. And here's something that I kind of wondered. All Guy Clark's albums are photographed covers that I can think of. I wonder why she never did the cover for any of his albums, a painting of some sort.
Well, my favorite picture of you has a picture of a Polaroid that she took, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But,
there's not a bad record by him, period.
There isn't. But Guy Clark, highly recommended. Highly recommended if you're looking for great songwriting. And the last thing I'll show, Rob, is I didn't realize this had come out on Record Store Day, because I'm not a big Record Store Day person. I'll get some Record Store Day stuff sometime, but I am not going to go stand in line at some store with the hopes of picking up a record. I'll pick it up later. So I had to pick this up a few days later. But the giant 3 albums that Warren Zevon did on the label, the Giant label. Only available on CD, except one of them had one vinyl release, I believe. But Mr. Bad Example was the first one. And I had these on CD. I didn't have Mr. Bad Example, but I had this one, Learning to Flinch. This is a great, just him playing 12-string guitar. Great 2-record album. And that was never available on vinyl. And then this Mutineer. That's it. Mutineer was the last one he did on Giant. 2 of the 3 weren't available on vinyl. The one that was available on vinyl, the vinyl cost more than the whole box. Used copies were going for more than the whole box set was selling for. I had to pay a little bit more. I got it on eBay. I couldn't find it at any of the stores, online like In Groove or Rough Trade or any of those. So I ended up buying it on eBay. I think the lowest price I saw was about $90. I ended up paying $112 for it. But they're trying to sell them on.
How much was the list on that?
I think the list may have been somebody might know better than me. I don't remember, but it was just slightly under $100.
Yeah. Okay.
They had one of them at my local store, and my friend Bob mentioned to me later he was looking for that, and I said they've got one down there, and he went down later in the day and they still had it, so he found it there.
And but the flippers on Discogs, you can go to Discogs and you can get one for the list price or thereabouts.
Well, I want hold on. I'm not diminishing that they're flippers on Discogs.
Yeah.
But oftentimes what you're going to see is the record store itself just getting rid of
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. They're at the normal price. But there are also flippers that are trying to get $180, $210,
they're not
$170.
I mean,
they're not going to do it because they're right there beside people.
Well, right. We're 2 weeks
right
out.
They're just hoping the cheap ones sell out.
Hold on,
And then
guys. Let me talk, please. My experiences were 2 weeks out from Record Store Day. That's when the titles that are not highly in demand, the prices level out, if not drop. That's all. That's what I see. You might see different.
Yeah. And I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the demand is for this. Evidently, they sold a lot of them because when I checked 3 or 4 online brick and mortars, they didn't.
That's Rhino, correct? I would have to imagine they pressed quite a few of those. So
I don't know. Not in the box set. I don't think they
didn't do 500.
Rhino. Yeah.
I'm sure they did not do 500 of those.
Oh no. I think they probably did 2,500.
Yeah, something like
or
that.
3,500 or something like that.
I can't imagine you can't find that. Here's one thing I will say. I mean, it takes a little bit of searching on the internet, but there's still the mom and pop stores have websites, and they're selling that.
Yes. Yeah, and a lot of the mom and pop stores, their website is Discogs. It will be it's so much easier for them to set it up on Discogs than it is to create their own website and keep it updated and sell on there. So there are plenty of copies available.
Here, in my experience, there seems to be like a service that created this standardized website that a lot of mom and pops utilize to be their online presence. It's the same website.
Uh-huh.
So they all look very similar. But that's where they go. The mom and pops go to Discogs and sell off their inventory of Record Store Day.
I got a record.
Yep.
Congratulations.
I thought that record was sealed because you were a teenager at the time, or a minor.
This Mac Davis.
Okay, can everyone help me out with Jim?
This has a Mac Davis doing. Wait, This is Mac Davis doing Uncle Booger Red and Birdie Nell.
Can
help me out
everyone?
here. Uncle, is that a song? Uncle Booger Red and Birdie Nell. That's the name.
Can everyone let Jim know?
But
there's no humor in Mac Davis.
I got the market.
He likes to think screaming at me in a record store.
Wait.
This is what Jim does. He'll scream at me in a record store.
Look at that.
Hey, Rob, they have the Mac Davis record you want. And there's crickets. No one thinks it's funny.
Okay, Bobby. I got you
Uncle
covered.
Booger. What was it?
Okay, well, I'll explain it to you.
What Crosby, Stills, and Nash song name drops Mac Davis?
I couldn't tell you.
All of them. Every single one.
No, there really is. There really is one that name drops Mac Davis.
Bobby, you have to message me for me to send you one. I'm busy running a show.
What is it? I'm dying to know. What is it, Elliot?
It's the one. Which song is it? On the live album, I guess 4-Way Street, where they please come to Chicago. That's it. That's who they're talking about when they say please or join the other. Please come to Chicago or join the other side. They were trying to get Mac to come, and participate in the.
I don't think
protest.
That's correct.
I
don't think so. He's talking about us, people, humans, everybody.
Actually, I have another
to Chicago.
I have
Mac Davis was
convention.
He was,
but he also is specifically talking about Mac Davis.
I have a Mac Davis factoid, Harry. If you want to hear it,
check.
Sure.
The Big Mac from McDonald's named after Mac Davis.
Mac Davis.
Yeah, after his big right toe.
I wonder what his real name is. McDougal.
Just Rob. All I can say is, I know you like me, but don't get hooked on me, okay?
Wow.
Baby. When I was a little kid, I think for 5 minutes.
What movie did Mac Davis star in?
He starred in a bunch of movies. North Dallas 40 and Tougher to Keep.
Well, yeah.
Here's a record.
That's the one I'm thinking
hold
about.
On.
North
Jim,
Dallas 40.
You have to
quarterback.
wait till I say shit. When I was a little kid, he had a variety show for about 5 minutes. Did anyone remember that?
Little. First of all, sorry.
I remember watching the Mac Davis variety show. I don't know how long it lasted, but I distinctly remember that. All right, show your other stupid ass record, Jim.
Well, this has Funny Face by Donna Fargo, The Morning After by Maureen McGovern.
Donna Fargo.
But it's got dueling banjos and it's got Deodato doing 2001, also Sprach Zarathustra. So
Donna Fargo
73. I was
Donna Fargo was on the Mac Davis variety show. I remember that.
Was Mac Davis ever
on Donna was the happiest girl in the whole USA too.
I don't know anything about that.
Somebody accused me of being a Trumper, and let me just set the record straight. I am not a Trumper, okay?
Who accused you? Who accused you, Elliot?
Somebody was it Rich or somebody in the comments?
Hold on.
Yeah, that first Deodato.
Wait a second. Hold on. Who's accusing anyone of being a Trumper? I don't see it. Where is it?
Some of my best friends are Trumpers.
It's in there.
Listen, if you're making a joke remotely about someone being something, you're an idiot. That's a stupid joke. Elliot gives you so much.
Elliot's a member of the Moose Lodge.
Yeah, I mean, I give Elliot shit about moonshine and hogs, and don't fucking say hillbilly to him because he'll freak out. But to go to some sort of weird ass place that you're giving him shit, that's stupid. You're a fucking idiot if you're making that joke.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Go with the tried and true.
Well, one good thing that Trump has done is he's got the price of gold sky high. It's like $3,400 an ounce right now, and going
All
up.
right. So Elliot, Harry, when you come to visit LA in June, can I pull your gold fillings out and
Yeah, I
sell
got
them?
a nice tooth I could get rid of.
I've got a nice gold chain that I bought in Thailand 40 years ago, and it weighs almost 2 ounces.
Does it turn your neck green?
No, it's 22
Remember-
karat. Thai
remember
gold is
silver-
really pure.
Remember silver certificates?
Yes.
So when I was a kid, I collected coins, and we had silver certificates, and I think it was 69 or something. We drove up to the mint in San Francisco, and we
Yes.
got
I'm going to show you something. I'll be right back. Hold that thought.
got some bullion from back then.
Is Harry going to find his
Hey,
gold?
Bobby.
How you doing, boys?
Morning. sir.
Well, you
Hey,
guys
Bobby.
were showing records. I was
Good.
cleaning 45s this morning, and I wanted to show some. I will later when
Cool.
Harry comes back.
Why we're not good enough?
Well, I don't want him to miss some of that stuff. And look at the machine I was using. You guys pay $500 or $3,000. I think I use a spin clean.
Hey, listen, guys. Harry rewatches the show like 3 times, so he'll see it.
Here, wait a minute. That's the pile of them. I only cleaned maybe half of them. And they didn't have any sleeves, so I got the white ones there. But they're all pretty old, eh? They're all from the 50s and the early 60s. And that's sort of my generation of stuff.
Now, where did you read? These are recent purchases, Bobby?
Well, actually, I went to a buddy that I used to subcontract off a couple of years ago, or no, a couple of weeks ago. He told me he wanted me to look at some records, right? And I thought I was going to look at his brother-in-law's collection because I seen it 25 years ago, and it was an incredible collection. Anyhow, it wasn't. It was his, right? It'd been sitting around in his basement for 30 years before he even looked at him, right? And he had about 800 or 900 45s and a bunch of albums. I grabbed 3 or 4 albums, and maybe I looked at about 300 45s, 200 or 300 45s, and I picked maybe 45 of them. At the end of what I had, I didn't want to look at any more because I had a pile of them already. I says, "How much money do you want for these?" And he says, No, forget about it. They're yours, right? Because I was looking. He wanted to know if anything was worth any money that he could sell and how to sell them and stuff like that. When I told him, you got to clean them, buy sleeves for them, and mail them individually or sell the whole bunch, right? And he didn't like all of that stuff, right? And they're not really expensive records, but I'll show you, some of them right now. At least this many that I did, eh? First up here is here. Let me put my glasses on. I don't see too well these days.
Do you know you're even holding records?
Jerry Butler, For Your Precious Love on VJ, eh? Great label. Hank Ballard and the Midnighters, Let's Go. They were the originators of the twist, eh? And Hank Ballard, for years and years and years, he was really pissed off that he never got no money for it. I think he sold it for like $35 or something like that, eh? Here's Gene Chandler's The Duke of Earl, which was a monster on VJ.
Duke of Earl.
Oh yeah, that was a monster in my day, believe me, eh?
Hey, Manford.
Otis Redding on Volt. I've been
watch
loving
your
you too
shit.
long.
Okay. Sorry about
They're all in great shape too, eh? I really love the shape of these. Here's a Buddy Holly Ray Vaughan on the Coral label. They got a piece of tape on it, but I don't mind that. I call that stuff patina.
There you go.
William Bell, Marching Off to War. I don't know if many of you guys know him, but he had a bunch of hits back in the 50s, eh? On the Stax label here.
What style of music is that? Is that like
That'd be
rockabilly,
sort of R&B. Most of
R
this stuff is R&B.
and B?
Here's like a Rolling Stone, Bob Dylan. And I'll tell you one of the reasons why Like a Rolling Stone become very, very popular with us kids buying it and everything. And that was because it got played on the jukebox all the time. And the reason it got played on the jukebox, in those days, records were only like 2 minutes and 20 seconds, 2 minutes 15, some even less than 2 minutes. That's what they were supposed to be, so that they could get commercials in, right? But Dylan's record here was like 5 minutes long. So when you went to the restaurant or someplace and you wanted to play music on the jukebox, one song for a dime, 3 songs for a quarter. When you played Dylan, one song, it was like you were getting like 3 songs, right? So that's why Dylan got played a lot of the jukeboxes back when it first came out, eh?
That's awesome.
Is that a
Hey
Canadian?
Jude, 7 minutes 11 seconds.
Well, in my area, anyhow.
Bobby, is that a Canadian pressing of that 45?
This one here,
Yeah.
That Orange Capital or Columbia, I think so.
Yeah.
yeah, this is Canadian, registered and printed in Canada.
All right.
These would be all Canadian, bought in Canada. All these records here. Like here's Chess, Selfish One, Jackie Ross. That was a big hit. But if you see on the bottom, made in Canada, right? You don't see an awful lot of Chess or other, that were made in Canada, right? Although there are some that were sent up, from the States, to their record shops and stuff like that. Not every record was made in Canada that was sold on the, on the radio, right? For instance, here's Chess again, Etta James, but that's an American one, eh? But it was still bought in a Toronto record store. Etta James again, but this one's on a Argo label, which that's Canada, eh? Argo label.
No, that's a U.S. label there, I think.
Also, well, I know Argo is I got a lot of Argo, and a lot of them say made in Canada in it. This one here says, does it say it? No. Here's Bob and Earl, the Harlem Shuffle guys on Merwood. That's a very, very early printing of it. It might be the first. I don't know.
Time
Two
to
and
take
Angel just got their wings.
Otis Redding.
I don't know
Jamie.
that. What is Vault? I don't know Vault.
It's a division of Stax.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
Yeah.
And the Jerk by the Larks. I think that's 1959. That's Canadian label. They're the real one. And last but not least, on Checker is Jimmy McCracken, The Walk. That used to be a dance once upon a time, right? Back in the late 50s and early 60s, there was literally, I knew at least 10 or 12 dances, and that's no bull, right?
Yeah, you haven't seen anything till you've seen Bobby Guest do the mashed potato.
Well, actually, the first dance I learned was called the Continental, and that was in 59, and that was sort of like a little like the mashed potato. So when the mashed potato come around, it was easy. That's an easy dance anyhow. They all were easy, except for maybe doing the James Brown.
I don't
The
know.
mashed potato
But
with gravy is a tough dance.
I pay $1 to see Ed Topo do the moonwalk.
Oh, that was around, back in the 30s, for Christ's sakes, that stuff. We had a guy up there, and one an American that was doing it back in 59, 58. They got a couple of videos of him doing it. Ronnie Hawkins.
I'll just say this. I don't believe Mazzy has a head cold. He's not up here because he threw his back out doing the Charleston.
Charleston.
Yeah, you
The
don't get
Lindy
that.
Hop would be the best dance to be doing.
We don't get that
Hey,
these days.
Hey, Jim,
Yeah.
you were talking about going to San Francisco Mint, turning in your silver certificates.
Yes.
My mother-in-law did that.
Oh wow.
This is an
Yeah.
8 pound silver bar.
Yeah. I had a couple of those, and you know, when I left home, my mom.
I wish it was an 8-pound gold bar.
My mom sold them when silver was like $3 an ounce.
How is the price of silver right now, Harry?
It's like
Probably like
$40, over $40, I think, an ounce.
Any, do you guys remember when the Hunt brothers destroyed silver?
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
remember-
They put full page ads in the paper that they would go to hotels, get a room, and they would have people lined up for blocks selling their silver and gold to them.
Well, what they did was they went and all of a sudden bought all kinds of vending machines, and they took all the silver out of the vending machines that they were getting, and eventually they just cashed it in, and silver it lost what, 90% of its value, right? I mean, traditionally for 1,000, 2,000 years, silver was always 10% of gold, and the Hunt brothers screwed that up. But I had a guy who was a bartender when it happened. He had a whole bunch of silver stocks, eh? And he was arguing with a bunch of guys. I lost so many thousands on my silver and all of that. And he's going, is it going to come back? He's wondering and all of that. And I had just walked into the bar, right? And I told him, no, not in your. I says, and I told him about the 10%. And he says, well, how long? And I says, well, probably 100 years, or something like that, 3 or 4 generations. He just, dropped like that, right? But it'll go up, or gold will go down. I mean, gold is crazy right now.
It was over $100 an ounce yesterday.
Yeah, I sold some gold. What was it? 3 years ago, when it was only $1,200 an ounce. I wish I would have kept it, for Christ's sakes.
So I did pick up a couple of records when we were out with Michael Poetry when we were at Record Safari. This one, they were both Japanese records. Record Safari had just scored a big collection. I don't know who I don't know who these guys are.
You don't know who it is?
Why did you buy it?
Yeah.
Michael Poetry. They were not expensive, and Michael said buy this, so I did.
Have you listened to it yet?
Yes. This record is like perfect rock and folky pop, but perfect. And this other record, though, the world of Nobuyasu Okabayashi. This record,
it's easy for you to say.
Yeah, this record is stunning. It's crazy how good it is, and I've listened. You have? I've never ever. He just said buy it. It was $8.
I've heard of him.
Stunning.
It looks like
so.
Nash.
Here's the thing about these records. I love listening to rock in German, and I love listening to rock in Spanish. I don't understand a word of Spanish or German, but I just love the sound of the words rocking in those languages. I do. And maybe it's because
in German, the language of love?
No. But these records, for the first time, are really making me want to listen to more rock and roll in Japanese. The sounds are just starting to rock. I highly recommend, if you can find this, it's really good. Super good. Stunning. So I have to thank Michael Poetry for that, turning me on to those 2 records.
So they're good.
Super good. This record is killer.
Who would you compare that? Who would you compare that to?
It looks like Alan Parsons on the cover.
Yeah, the best music. The best country rock. The best country rock. Stephen Stills, any of those guys from that era, and it's from that era. I believe it's early 70s. So Michael would know more. He just shoved this in my hand and said, "Buy this." So when Michael does that, I say okay. And the thing that's killing me is that I never wanted to spend that much time listening to Japanese rock, because I don't know why, but all of a sudden with these records, just the sound is pulling me in. So
You
There
only
you
were
go.
Japanese. There's that Japanese metal band, Loudness. That's all I know.
There's this opera that's going around, Shenyun, classic Chinese
It's not opera. It's
opera.
acrobatic stuff.
But it's also opera. And
They
the
have a
sound,
bomb threat every time they're having a performance. They're having a bomb threat there.
yeah, they're for some reason they're under the gun. But someone gave me free tickets. I didn't go. I gave the tickets to a friend of mine. He said the costumes and the dancing were fantastic, but the sound of the singing was so odd and so hard to get used to.
Yeah.
So
Sabuki.
I think my point is my ears getting used to the sound of Japanese rocking.
I would recommend you start with Yoko.
Well, I've got
I booed Yoko.
Zappa's collaboration with Yoko, A Brief Eternity with Yoko Ono.
Speaking of Yoko, I think I'm going to go see the one-to-one concert film this week. It's playing at a theater here in Tacoma.
What's that?
The one-to-one John Lennon documentary concert film.
I mean, I appreciate Yoko, but
never seen it.
Well, it hasn't been able to be seen, right, Harry?
What?
They're putting it out now. Where did Harry go?
Here's a record that
Billy Stewart, man, he's great, man. Love Billy Stewart.
Yeah, I had a original copy from '65, but it's in such bad shape. So I was glad to pick up this kind of a best of Billy Stewart.
Sitting in the park.
Sitting in the park, summertime. I got a bunch of his 45s. I know albums, but I got a bunch of his 45s.
And the big one around here, I don't know if it was nationwide, but the big one around here in the southeast was Fat Boy. Fat Boy has been a big beach music song here. Now this is a repress on Chess, but when Chess was owned by Sugar Hill, not the Sugar Hill out of Durham, there's a bluegrass and folk music label, but I guess the Sugar Hill gang,
the hip hop
that put out a lot of disco. And
now, Ed Topo mentioned Ars Nova. He said they're great. I picked this reel up, and I have not listened to it yet. I have no idea what they're like.
Blind Bias.
What kind of music is it?
Who mentioned Ars Nova? Ed Topo?
Yeah.
What type of music are they? Ed Topo?
It's got horns. It's got guitar, drums, bass, trumpet, trombone, keyboard. I should spin it.
Maybe it's the
Blood,
Sweat, and Tears Chicago.
I mean, it's never been played.
As these head colds
affected when I got it.
That can't be a long album. Look,
this is on Atlantic.
Atlantic.
Hold on. Okay. We're coming to a thing. That's a different band.
Well, somebody tell us what type of music it was.
Japanese prog.
So Eddie says this is symphonic prog. Same name. That's an odd name to have two different bands with it.
Hold on. Mazzy, your head cold. Your spelling's all out of whack.
Yeah, what's going on? Is it a head cold or is it?
I don't know. It's a finger.
You got to give him a break, Rob.
Homemade chicken soup. You got a cold. Head cold.
Here's another.
Okay, Eddie.
Here's another album. This is Rory Block, who's a primarily known as a acoustic blues artist, bottleneck slide guitar virtuoso. But she did one record that was a very, very much an attempt to make her a pop artist of some sort. And I think I haven't listened to this yet. I just recently got it on Crystal Records. So it will, this may or may not be that pop record. I hope it's not. I hope it's the acoustic blues stuff that she did. but she grew up in Greenwich Village. Her father owned a shoe repair shop where all the folk artists in Greenwich Village would congregate and play music in his shop. And so she grew up listening to that stuff and learning to play guitar. And a lot of the old blues masters, she sat at the knee of those old blues guys who taught her a lot. And
What kind of store did the father have?
How
He
old
was
is she?
A shoe repair shop.
He was
Is
a
that where
cobbler.
shoegaze music started?
He was a cobbler.
Maybe so. He was a cobbler. Yes, but he
But
was
I
big
thought-
during the 60s.
I thought Elliot was going to say that's where all the folk artists had their shoes repaired. And I was going to say, well, that can't be a good business. There's not that many folk artists to be a sustainable business.
That girl looks pretty young.
The
blues guys she's sitting at the knee. It wouldn't have been the old Muddy Waters and all of that. She looks like what 30, 35?
Actually, I think it was. This is a long time ago. She's probably in her 50s or more now.
Oh, all right,
Yeah.
all right.
So
that'll be guys from maybe the 80s.
like Gary Davis and some of the guys that were in the New York area during that time. Reverend Gary Davis, people like that, I believe. But also
Elliot,
people like
John
Sebastian was there.
Have you ever heard Alvin
I'm sorry, I didn't hear
Youngblood
what you
Hart?
Alvin who?
Alvin Youngblood Hart?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen him a few times.
Yeah, I've got
Pretty good.
several of his CDs. Yes. Very good. There was another guy around that time, Harris, during the 90s, I guess it was putting out I can't remember his first name, putting out a lot of interesting acoustic blues. He had some tuba in a couple of his tunes. I remember on one of his albums. I can't recall his first name though. Something Harris.
Didn't Frank Zappa play the
Alvin
tuba?
Youngblood Hart.
I think Frank Zappa played the tuba at one time.
He actually played the bicycle. Was it?
Yeah,
Oh
Steve?
yeah, I've seen that right on
Yeah.
that crazy show, or whatever the hell it
Steve
was.
Allen.
Yeah.
With the nut
He
bar.
played the.
Sure.
Actually, Elliot might know this. You ever play the Swine Boom? Elliot?
Well, no,
Not familiar.
this is insensitive. Elliot's not some backwoods nincompoop
No.
who
My father
plays the jug or
My
that
father had a
stick with
friend
the
from-
string on the bucket.
My father had a friend from somewhere back there. His name was Frank Hitchcock, and he used to talk about playing the swine boon. What's the swine boon? Anyone who'll be offended, please don't listen. Little kids, turn away. You blow up a sow's ass and finger her tits.
Oh,
That's the
wow.
swine boon.
Oh, jeez.
Bang, 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 bang,
Sorry,
bang,
Bobby.
bang, bang, bang.
I might have to
Swine
block
boom.
you for that one.
All right, okay, let me run outside for a minute, and I'll come back and let you know how it is.
I have Winnie, the swan. Those.
You know,
Does
this is what.
Does she cooperate with your musical efforts?
No.
Yeah, hold on. And if there's one person on screen owns a pig and made a horrible pig joke,
Which
But I
one
don't
of it
think-
would be?
no.
Yeah, it's a
Which
swine
one of us
boon.
would own a pig?
Don't forget it.
And
It's
he's in
swine
LA.
boon. Swine boon. Blow up a sow's ass.
all right.
All right.
Good job.
I
in
have
editing
chased
yourself,
pigs.
Jim.
I have chased pigs that got out of the fence before, and it is virtually impossible to catch a
They are.
pig
Well,
or a
mine-
hog that
fast.
does not want to get caught.
Yeah, that's fast. And
Well, what would you do if you knew they were going to make bacon out of you?
True,
Yeah.
true.
see, we
Catch
just
him
take
with
a
a
slogan.
shotgun, no problem.
Have you noticed the high price of ham, the shoulder, or
Really?
Yeah, it's gone sky high. A ham for Easter, the cheapest you could find was like $30-some.
I used to go to a honey bake
Really?
and get those, man. They're expensive too.
There's no telling how expensive they are now with the prices.
Honey ham, I love a honey
With the
ham.
inflation.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we could afford to throw eggs and toilet paper at our enemies.
Oh yeah,
You can't do that today.
we would
Yep.
throw eggs at cars. I was a bad boy.
Hey,
We
Dave,
would
Eggs have come down slightly in the last.
how's
few
the
weeks,
how's
but
the
not
egg
mu- but not
producing?
much.
How's the
I
egg
got it.
producing?
I have a lot of eggs. We got eggs. We got eggs. We have to get rid of some. We have a few dozen.
Now, why are some eggs white and some are brown?
Depends
Just
on
the
the chicken.
shells.
Old
The
chickens get brown eggs.
Yeah, it's just the breed of chicken. The
Yeah,
eggs on the
well,
inside is always the same, but the
I
shells.
think the age of the chicken has more than
Okay,
any.
now I don't think that's the real Jose, because if that was the real Jose, it would say fucking eggs, fucking eggs,
Yeah.
fucking eggs.
No, it's not the age; it's the breed. Some breeds are.
My old
They
man
buy-
used to swear by brown eggs. He'd buy only brown eggs.
That's what I
My
buy.
wife is.
The
We
eggs I
got
buy
these
are brown.
designer.
I don't
We've
give
got
a
these
fuck. But
designer-
I ain't racist at all.
Well,
I don't care if
hold
it's
on.
brown or white.
We'll go back to music in a second, but it's
Thank
my
you, Jose.
understanding that the state of the egg situation, at least in the U.S., comes from the bird flu. But to bring us back to non-bird flu chickens that can make eggs, was it a 7-month process to repopulate the egg?
Yeah, they don't. Yeah, they got to grow up a
You
little
got
bit.
to, you got to re.
Hey, can
Yes.
someone
And
turn
where
their
does
freaking
chocolate
phone
milk
off
come
and take their
from?
bills?
It's not me. Not me.
You know, eggs,
Is Jose?
eggs
Jose
don't
on
taste the same. Eggs don't taste the same as they did 60 years ago. You know,
Yeah, you know what?
neither does tomatoes. Neither does tomatoes.
Well,
Jim,
I'm a
do
big
you have an
believer.
egg sucking dog?
Hey, hold on, Harry. Let me
It's
get a word
proven.
in edgewise here. Bobby Gass, I've said this before, and I'm old, but not old. I haven't tasted a good tomato in 30 years. I'm
Right.
with you on the tomatoes. I
Well,
don't
they
know.
bred out. They bred out.
Homegrown tomatoes.
They breed tomatoes. They got thousands of different varieties,
Two
right?
things you can't
But they
buy.
breed them to make them plump and red, and
Yeah, well,
firm and not so juicy. Wait a minute.
Well-
And what they were doing with the breeding, and they didn't know what they were doing it, they bred out the enzyme that made tomatoes taste like tomatoes. But now that the scientists have discovered this, they're actually trying to breed back in this enzyme that'll make a tomato taste good.
well, okay, so Bobby Gass, I've never heard that, but here's what I did hear.
I read that at least 2
Here's
years
what I
ago.
think I know. Here's what I think I know about tomatoes. It's the soil. So in the U.S., the best tomatoes you can get, in my knowledge, and I'm not an expert, is New Jersey. In Western New Jersey, which people don't know, it's the Garden State, but there's a lot of farms in the western part of the state. Is a good New Jersey tomato is the best you can get in the U.S.
You've tasted it from every state, have you?
But it's the soil. But it's the soil. That's what I thought. Maybe what you heard is maybe correct, but I don't know. But the soil.
Tomatoes are fruit.
A homegrown tomato in generally speaking, a homegrown tomato is going to be so much better than a hothouse tomato or than tomatoes they bring
Just ask Guy
in
Clark.
mass produced. Yes.
Hey, I don't have a lot of nice things to say about New Jersey, but the tomatoes there are good.
And
What's your feeling on the raging tomato, Rob?
Oh, no, not.
The Pine Woods, isn't that where the mob used to bury all their guys? The Pine Woods in Jersey.
It's the soil, Bobby. It's the soil.
The tomatoes are good in Jersey from all the dead mafia people in the soil.
Well, one of the best episodes of The Sopranos was when the two guys had to go get and had to kill the guy that was a Russian mobster, and they were chasing him through the piney woods of New Jersey, and of course they were the most outdoorsy guys you can imagine trying to catch them, and Soprano Tony calls him on the phone, and what does he tell him? He tells him he was he was with the interior, the Russian interior in the organized, the intelligence department, and the way he interprets it and tells the other guy that's searching for him, he says, "This guy's a big interior decorator, and he's killed thousands of somebody." So,
Could you
or
just tell us
hundreds
the
of people.
episode so we can watch it, Elliot, and make our own judgment?
Yeah,
The KGB, the
the
KGB
episode-
you're thinking of.
I think it's the Piney Woods episode is what it's called. You probably pull it up that way.
Okay. So
Just Stephen says it's called the Pine Barrens.
here's something I haven't talked about, but one of my favorite things is to get a fresh bagel, and you don't toast a fresh bagel. Get a bagel, some cream cheese, some lox, some onion, and a fresh tomato. But
No
again,
onion, no tomato, just a lox and a nice bagel.
look,
man.
this is about me, Bobby, not you.
Yeah, well, we got a lot of Jews up in Toronto. And we got some
No,
great
and
delicatessens. I
I
love
don't doubt that, but my grandparents, when they came to visit from Jersey, from right outside the city, they would bring 2 big boxes from a Jewish deli with all the shit, smoked whitefish, all that stuff. But that's my favorite thing. That's one of my favorite things. Okay,
Yeah,
Jose, we get it. Move on.
Well, let me give
Jewish
you a
delis, they're fantastic. Jewish delis, I love them.
a quick Jose story. I was reading. I had my phone on, and it was one of the live streams that Jose was on, and I had gotten my devotional out and my Bible out, and I was trying to read scripture and learn, a little devotional message for the day to make my day better. And over here off the side, my phone volume is up, and Jose is throwing out the worst language in the world. I said,
Awesome.
"Oh my gosh. Okay, I got to read faster.
Jose, he's such a cursor.
Such a cursor.
Mr.
Bad example.
Cursing can be a sign of, I hate to say this, but intelligence.
Low intelligence.
Yeah, absolutely, right?
Hold on.
No, high intelligence.
Fuck you,
Oh,
Ed. Fuck you.
Jim.
I think it runs the gamut up and down either way.
Listen, I wouldn't play the swine boon.
You need to eliminate that joke from your repertoire.
Yeah.
Swine boon.
The visual is just too much, man.
No, the swine boon is going to become a part of the VC.
I'll forget about it tomorrow.
Yeah, along with staff, whatever.
Staph infection.
Yeah.
And head colds.
Spanish is a way to communicate
And
clearly.
head colds, yeah.
What do you call a fake noodle?
No, not one of Harry's jokes. They're terrible too.
An
Yeah, I know.
impasta.
Yeah.
I give up.
It's like Harry must subscribe to the worst joke of the day club.
Yeah,
Where do
does.
pirates buy books? At the second.
Even the jokes in the back of Reader's Digest are better than Harry's.
Oh, he's got it right there. What's Pirate's favorite letter, Harry?
A.
My sister-in-law was a
Wrong.
school teacher.
I.
My sister-in-law, like me, was a school teacher.
All right, guys,
And,
stop. Calm
and-
down. It's done.
What we would she used to do, and I got where I was doing it after I learned it from her, is your response as a teacher when a student throws out, some vulgarities is you go get a dictionary and hand it to them, and just tell them to learn some new words, rather than freaking out because they're cursing or anything. You say, let's learn some new words. Come on.
You usually curse when
And
you're
it
angry.
diffuses
right?
the situation somewhat.
My daughter's
Some people curse just because they curse.
My daughter's a
Fucking
teacher.
A.
Part of my vocabulary, cursing.
My grandmother used
See
to
what
curse
happens
in-
when Mazzy's not here?
Yeah, it gets bad.
Everything just.
You guys have the worst sense of timing.
What?
that anyone's
I mean,
ever had.
Why?
My grandmother used to.
Explain yourself, sir.
Because they're talking over each other.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
know
yeah.
if it's the effect of your.
You know, there
internet
was this time that
connection.
when
It's
Hold
just that
on,
we're that old.
hold on.
Well, I have to preface when I want to say something to get you guys to silence.
Well,
No, no,
Jim, Jim,
attention.
tell,
You want
tell
attention.
your stupid, make your stupid joke that your daughter and then your grandma. Say it, Jim. Let Jim talk.
What? Which joke was that? Okay, I can't. You put me on the spot. I don't. Oh yeah, no. My grandmother. Shit. My grandmother was a world-class cursor. I would say, Grandma, what are you doing? And she would say, in Tuchus Groipen Royce, which I didn't know what that meant. Tuchus, I kind of heard. It turns out I would say, Grandma, what are you doing? And the translation is, I'm growing rice in my ass.
Oh my God.
What language is that?
Yiddish, which is a combination of Hebrew and German.
Oh, Yiddish. Okay.
In Tuchus Groipen Royce. Or she would say,
I didn't know it was that combination. I didn't realize that.
Well, it got really worse from there. It was bad. Yeah. It was disgusting, actually.
So your grandma just missed the concentration camps, eh?
They got out in before World. They went to Winnipeg, Canada.
Oh,
before
yeah.
World, right in 1910 or 20 or something like that. Right before World War I, they went to Canada.
Smart move.
Well, Winnipeg was owned by the railroad back then.
Well, that's
And
a long time ago. There wasn't much out west.
They sent Winnipeg. The railroad sent advertising all over the world, talking about Winnipeg being a paradise with pictures of palm trees. Come to Winnipeg, and a lot of people. Yeah, you look online. Look online. They really sold the shit out of Winnipeg, trying to make it be a.
What country has the longest coastline?
Canada.
Chile.
Canada.
Yeah.
We got the Arctic. We got the Arctic.
Half of it, people don't live in half of it.
We got three oceans: Atlantic Ocean, Pacific Ocean, and the Arctic Ocean. Right? There's not many places got that.
Yeah, but
right?
I mean, what is it? 85-90% of the country lives on the border of the
within 200 miles of the border of the states. 85% of the population live there. But
soon the country with the longest.
With this global warming, all the muskeg and shit like that we got up north, that's going to be brand new farmland, same as in Siberia and stuff like that. I'm talking like another 100 years from now, 200 years from now.
What are you going to do when the U.S. takes over Canada?
They can't beat the population of the world right now, right? And but in another, I don't know, 5 or 6 generations, it'll help. Farming will increase, right?
So how do you feel that you're going to soon be a U.S. citizen?
Well, that's never going to happen. Not in my lifetime, anyhow. I went and bought extra ammunition in case for my deer rifle, just in case you Yankees come up here and try to. I'll show you. There, look at it. Look. You see the pictures of the war medals on the. You see all the war medals.
Don't you call me a Yankee?
I come from a family of fighters.
We don't need no U.S. invasion for you to start shooting Americans.
No, that's not true. I went down to the States.
Don't call me a Yankee.
I met a lot of Yankees in my life, right? And, guys that have moved up here, Americans, and guys that were draft dodgers and deserters. And I met all kind. I've traveled down there, and I've met a lot of Americans. And you guys are okay. You're just a little, gun happy, right?
I don't own a gun.
Oh, I got 2 of them. I don't have a
We're gun happy, but you just said you bought more ammunition. But we're the ones that are gun happy.
Yeah. I don't.
Well, just in case. I'd be prepared. I was a Boy Scout. Dib, right? Be prepared.
I was a Cub Scout.
I was a senior sixer when I was a Cub Scout.
I got kicked out of the Boy Scouts for eating a brownie.
Oh,
I was a wee below.
I bought brownie cookies. I was at my buddy's place about 6 or 7 years ago having a drink, right? And it was in the afternoon, and all of a sudden there was a knock on the door, and his wife goes to the door and answers the door, and it was a little girl selling brownie cookies in her uniform, and her mom was out on the sidewalk standing there watching her, right? And so all of a sudden, the wife comes back into where me and my buddy were drinking to grab her purse, and she says, "Oh, the Girl Scouts say I'm going to buy some cookies." And I says, "Oh, how much are the boxes?" She says, $6. I says, "Okay, buy me a box," because I hadn't had a Girl Scout cookie in 70 fucking years, well, 60 years. And I, for $6, you got like 6 cookies, and they were fucking horrible. They weren't the cookies I remember. That's all I can say.
So now you had the cookies now?
I love cookies. I don't eat a sleeve. I eat the whole thing. See, when I buy a pie
Girl
or
Scout,
a cake, I don't eat a piece. I eat the whole thing, man. I love
the modern
cookies.
Girl Scout cookies are fine. They're good.
Well, peanut butter cookies, homemade peanut butter cookies are my
No, I
favorite.
mean nothing's gonna beat stuff like that.
I've actually had 2 of the girls in the VC send me homemade peanut butter
Ooh,
cookies.
nice.
Malia and Jenny. Jenny sent me
Shut the
cookies
front
twice,
door.
actually.
Malia sent you cookies?
Well, I asked for it, right? I said, I start whining. I start whining. I tell them the story about my aunt who used to always send me peanut butter cookies on my birthday, and now she's too
Brilliant.
old. You start whining with the girls, and they start feeling
Right.
sorry for you. Eh?
They got to take care of you.
Guys don't give a shit, but the girls do.
They want to fix you.
Sounds like you got it figured out there, buddy.
Yeah,
Hey.
Bobby gets the babes, obviously.
I think Fluffy will make you some peanut butter cookies.
Oh, is Fluffy gay?
you have to be gay to make peanut butter cookies.
Well, that's the only kind of guys I know that want to make me cookies.
Yeah, the gay peanut butter cookies are the best.
Oh, God.
They have the best filling, Bobby.
Right. Harry likes the fudge ones.
Oh, speaking of which,
Back in the day, if you guys cracked like that, I'd be smacking you, eh? If we were live.
Big Fudge.
On the rump.
Go online and sign up for Big Fudge.
No, well, okay. So obviously they bought and
What is that? Explain yourself, Jim.
Yeah.
What's that? Am I giving? Yeah, Big Fudge. You know what that is? That's the
Explain.
Big Fudge is a company that makes record sleeves and cleaning supplies. You can go on Amazon and get Big Fudge record cleaning supplies. And they are, if you sign up now, I posted it earlier. You sign up for their newsletter, you'll be in the running to win.
Good strain of weed, eh?
Sergeant Pepper's.
I'd like to try that.
And I sent them a copy of my paper. God damn it! I hope they decide to advertise because I think they're fantastic.
Rob, can you make Breakfast King's comment up on the screen, please?
All right.
Get your panel.
Look, did anyone see my thumbnail for this?
Nice eyeball. I like that eyeball.
Yeah, that's a fat old man. I don't know who that was.
Look at that. He's juggling again. I tried doing that when I was a kid. I never could. I can handle 2, but a 3 was no good for me. I tried.
It's a cry for help.
Well, I know practice makes purpose, but I'm not a natural juggler.
No. That's the thumbnail. So I promised you this, and that's what's happened.
A bunch of fat old
just kind of there.
That looks like an Archie's. That come off of an Archie's. The Archies, that band. Their cover was like that.
Well, the comic books were like that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's where they got it from. The band.
I like Veronica.
I used to love reading Archie's comic books.
She had money.
Yeah, Veronica was hot. Well, y'all, what was the Andrew Dice Clay's thing with I Dream of Jeannie?
No.
If you look at that TV close enough, you could see her bush.
Quoting Andrew Dice Clay. That's
Sorry.
Send me an Earl. Send me an Earl.
You look at that. You look at the, look at Jeannie.
I was never a fan of Andrew Dice Clay, but I really liked Sam Kinison a lot.
Well, here's the deal.
Andrew
Hanson
Dice
was
Clay,
great.
When Andrew Dice Clay
he got old.
acted, when he acted in movies before he became a big stand-up, he was good. He was fine. He was on a
He
bunch
was
of
really
movies.
good at acting. Yeah.
Yeah,
great actor.
but when he
actor.
became the comedian,
What about Bill Burr? What do you guys think of Bill Burr?
I love Bill Burr.
His
I
take on
don't know.
women and
I'm
stuff like that. I love
50-50
him,
on
man.
him.
I love all those guys.
I like
I like
his.
him.
I mean, I'm not a big fan, but when his whole shtick is being angry about social.
Just being angry, right?
No,
Nice.
but but look, like when towards the end of Carlin's life, I went and saw him once. He was just angry and
Yeah,
screaming.
he was pissed off.
Well, he
He-
didn't like the system,
he
man.
make-
What he did is later on in his career, he just whined about the guys with the big money, and he was telling the truth and all of that about how they
Yeah.
control
He
the
was
politics.
brilliant.
Well, yeah, he's
was
talking
brilliant.
about what's
Or-
real. I mean, America
He-
is what he was saying. Eh?
Aren't
His
most
whole thing was
comedians
language.
just
It's not nice. It's not nice. But
Aren't
it was
most
true.
comedians just
Hey,
aren't
hold on.
most comedians just angry people that are
Well,
expressing their
comedians can
anger
get away
through
with
comedy?
shit, right?
Pressure
Comedians get
browser.
away with shit. I mean, you can't walk up and smack a guy in the face unless you're a comedian on national TV.
Refresh the
But,
browser, Josh. That was a while ago.
What's his
Yeah.
name? The guy that screamed all the time?
Sam Kinison.
Sam Kinison. That guy was fucking brilliant.
me.
I liked him a lot.
And his upbringing in the church, just fantastic. You ever seen him?
Comedians, they
He
get old
died
anyway.
with
Comedians
a
get
with a
old.
tie hooker. I mean, what better way to die?
No, he was in a car.
I know, with a tie hooker.
Okay. Well, no. What's his name?
I like the way Hank Williams died on his way to a gig in the back of a Lincoln.
No.
Cadillac Coupe de Ville.
Is that what it was? Big car, I know that. He said he needed a big trunk for all his suits.
Who's the one who caught himself on fire?
George
Oh,
Carlin.
Michael Jackson.
Richard Pryor.
Huh?
Richard Pryor.
Richard Pryor's father.
Oh, wow.
His father died fucking a prostitute. He came and he
Way
went.
to go out on top.
He came and he went.
Okay. What's with all the foul mouth this morning, Jim?
Well, that's what I said. Someone was trying to sell me a casket, and that's the last thing I need.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, if you could go back to last stream from last week, Harry made the same exact fucking joke.
No, I changed it a little bit.
No, this is about the third time. I'm counting.
Dude, all I'm asking is
It gets better. It gets
expand
better.
your repertoire.
No, it gets better.
What was the comedian that was ex-con, and he was funny, and he would say they're in the prison there were like you just told the same jokes over and over again so much that everybody just, instead of going through the process of telling the whole joke, you just look at the group and say number 7, and everybody knew what number 7 joke was, number 3, and they laugh.
Jim has 9 stories. 9.
Tim
So
Allen.
it's got
Was it
nothing to
Tim Allen,
expand.
Elliot?
Tim Allen, yeah, another one.
Classic Soundwave is asking.
Guy used to go on Carson, I think.
It wasn't Tim Allen. It was, I think, Paul Simon references him in one of his songs.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, but to be
Oh,
fair,
Mac
Catchphrase or
Davis.
something. I can't remember what it
Is
was.
it Mac Davis?
to be fair, Elliot, this is the second time you said some famous musician mentioned someone in a song.
It is.
Hearsay.
Yeah, and I stand by. I stand by my contention that Crosby, Stills, and Nash mentioned Mac Davis
No.
in the build-up. I think they say, "This song, this song is for you, Mac," or something like that in the live version of Chicago.
That
No,
should be
I
a
think
reason.
it's-
And I'm waiting for somebody in the Peanut Gallery.
No, he says, "Excuse me while
To
I
be able
kiss
to,
this guy."
back me up on that.
Guy. And
Because I mean, number one, Mac Davis was not a big social activist kind of guy.
What?
that
And
said,
everybody's spinning.
Come
man.
on to Chicago with us. We're going to demonstrate. I find that hard to believe. I'm calling you on this one.
that perm, that hair, that perm.
You called me on it. I'm calling you on it, Harry.
Well, he could have tried it and didn't like it, eh?
I think he was very political. That perm that he
It
wore.
could have been some chick made him do it.
That's political.
Well,
Wow.
I
you know.
can't believe
Yeah.
somebody in the peanut gallery. You got over 100 people in the peanut gallery. I can't believe somebody's not going to back me up on this. Go back and listen to.
Because
I
don't
can't believe
believe
we got
I
100
don't think
people
it's a
watching
thing.
this.
I
Wow.
honestly typed in Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Mac Davis, and nothing came up. Nothing.
Okay.
No.
The internet is not the all and everything, though.
Hold
Can't
on.
be your only.
Okay, let's live in a
Look,
world.
Would
Elliot,
this
Elliot,
guy,
Give me
would
a
this
blur.
guy be a Mac Davis fan?
Chicks like my hair.
His
No.
hair, he's doing Mac Davis.
Now I
I
think
don't know.
Graham
I mean,
Nash
hon-
would.
honestly-
Graham Nash would be. Hey,
What Mac
you
Davis
got to
came-
remember in.
when Mac Davis came up, Elliot, was he even involved in that hippy dippy scene?
No, Mac
Even
Davis
as
was
a songwriter?
he was a foot pervert.
Yeah, I think you missed the point because you're looking at Mac Davis through the lens of everything he did throughout his career, and when he became very commercial, had his TV show for a while.
No.
He put out a lot of
songs for
commercial
other
stuff.
art. He wrote.
was a songwriter.
He was a
Did he?
songwriter.
I
Well, he
know,
was
that's
popular.
what-
He was
that's-
popular
that's
for
my
a
point.
while. I lived in the era.
You've
that he was
got to
popular.
think he was very big for a while. You
Yeah.
got to think about in the context of that point in time before all this other stuff came along when he was a songwriter and he wrote In the Ghetto. Now, come on now, that's a pretty
Did he?
political song.
Yes, he did.
He wrote In the Ghetto. That's a very political song.
Yeah.
He also wrote in the
think
subway. And he wrote in the bathroom sometimes.
I don't think it's a huge
Did he write
leap
on the
to
toilet?
think. I don't think it's a huge leap to think that Mac Davis, based on people that knew him back during that period and the songs he was writing, that he may have been someone who may or may not have been interested in becoming more politically involved.
Let me use my logic, okay? Without knowing a whole hell of a lot about Mac Davis's background. That Crosby, Stills, and Nash, their group was Laurel Canyon, Southern California. Was Mac Davis, would he write in Nashville? Did
He was
even
Hollywood.
get,
He was
No, he was Nashville.
he was Nashville. They
I
weren't
think
even
it was
near
in
each
Hollywood.
other.
Yeah.
It was geographically impossible, Elliot.
Yes, they. Hey, do you think that people didn't travel from Nashville to L.A. to New York to
Memphis.
Chicago,
Look,
to all these different
I mean,
places as
again,
part
without
of their,
being a huge expert on all this
their
stuff,
music.
they
Elliot,
don't have
I could
airplanes
name-
in there.
I could go 20 people deep from that group of Crosby, Stills, and Nash and all the people that they crossed over with. Nothing remotely close to Mac Davis.
Okay, listen. The lyrics are, so your brother's bound and gagged, and they've tied him to a chair. Won't you please come to Chicago? How is that anything to do with Mac Davis?
it's not the lyrics.
It's people
It's
in
the
general.
reference. Look at what he says between. Okay, wait. Look at, of course, but look at what he says between songs just before he starts playing. Please come to Chicago or Chicago.
Where the fuck's Mac Davis?
That's all I'm saying. Look
He
at
does.
it. Listen
What
to
are you
it.
talking about? 4-Way Street? Or I mean, what album are you talking about? I don't know what live version in Chicago are you referencing?
I think it's four. I
He's
think it's
kinda-
4-Way Street, but I'm not.
It was a
positive.
dream he had.
You know,
I'm looking for a. I'm looking for a version of "Willin" by Little Feat. You know the song
Waiting
"Willin."
for Columbus is the best version.
It's the
Woman
best
to
artist
woman.
Version.
I've ever
Woman
had.
to woman. Best woman song going. Joe
That's all.
Cocker. Woman to woman. If you don't know it, listen to it.
there's a version of Willin', a live version, where Lowell George says, I got kicked out of Frank Zappa's band for writing a song about drugs. And then he goes into the song, and he was dead 6 months later. He OD'd 6
Well,
months
hold on.
later.
Even though Little Feat was Southern rockish, right? They
He's
were
from Hollywood.
California, right? They were
Yeah,
California.
He's a Valley boy.
They
Right.
weren't
So
Southern Rockish.
geographically,
No,
I seen them.
no, their sound was nothing approaching what we is generally considered Southern rock. No,
then what were the Elliot? They were not. They had a Southern twang to their music.
Yeah, Willin's a great
Serious-
song. But there's a version where he starts off by saying, I got kicked out of Frank Zappa's band for writing a song about
Right.
drugs.
Right.
And then he was dead. He OD'd 6 months later.
Right. Congratulations. There you go. No, Mac Davis geographically or in any other way, I can see connected to Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
No, but he was connected.
That doesn't mean it didn't happen just because you can't see it. I mean, that doesn't mean it didn't happen.
And I preface this, Bobby, I preface this by saying I'm no big Mac Davis expert.
And I agree with Uda Husker. Willin' is an amazing song.
All right, calm down, Harry, with the guitar. No one asked you to go into it.
I'm on your side, Elliot. I'm on your side,
please-
buddy.
Can someone
I
please start
appreciate
an
that.
open mic night in Puyallup so Harry has something to do?
You know, the best thing about the song Willin' is the wordplay, the way he reels off those different towns in the Southwest.
It has to be the
Elliot,
tone of,
Elliot, I know you're
Didn't Mac
retired.
Davis? Didn't
Hold on,
Elliot? Didn't,
no, Bobby, I'm talking.
yeah, but it's not important.
I'm talking here. I'm talking here.
Elliot, your assignment for next week is to, I know you're retired, I know you have responsibilities, but seriously, get your shit straight and find some facts to back up your thing about Mac Davis.
I will make an effort, and if I come on here next time and I don't say anything about it, I was wrong. But
Well,
if I did,
people-
Elliot, did you
People-
used to watch the Mac Davis TV show?
I did. Yeah,
Didn't he have Helen Reddy on there one time?
Probably.
that'd be logical. I don't remember.
No,
exactly.
he did.
I am
Makes
woman,
sense.
hear me roar. And
That
I'm
turned me off
too
right
big
off
to
the bat.
ignore.
I'm sure he had all those type of people on there.
Yeah, but he didn't have no rockers on or nothing like that. It was
Whatever. It was the same. I'm gonna guess that the Mac Davis variety show was like a replacement, like a summer replacement.
Didn't it replace the
They
Smothers
had all
Brothers?
the same acts on those shows.
it might have.
Because the Smother Brothers got canceled. They had in midsummer. Was it them
Yeah,
that
it was
replaced
Mac Davis
That was
was
a
late.
great show, man. I used to watch that every week. The Smothers Brothers.
I
Tommy
think
Smothers
didn't
with a yo-yo.
Lee
He
Campbell-
was pretty good with a yo-yo, eh? Tommy Smothers.
Yeah.
I got a yo-yo.
Lee Campbell's Good Time Hour.
That's
came
not a
on
Cheerio.
right
That's
on.
not a Cheerio yo-yo, is it?
No.
Cheerio yo-yo used to be the best once upon a time, eh? They used to have contests. You could win either a bronze, silver, or gold star. And when the Cheerio representative come around to the local area, he would get up on the show or someplace like that. They'd be up there and he'd be showing you tricks and stuff like that. And then he'd have a contest. He'd invite people up there, and the winner of the contest would get a Cheerio yo-yo sweater. You know, it was a beautiful sweater, right? With a big Cheerio yo-yo crest in front. All us kids wanted it. Eh? I could do the atomic bomb.
Oh, yeah.
Toasty.
Yeah, you know
Sammy
the
Davis
atomic
and I
bomb.
don't
Eh?
see-
Walk
we
the
don't see
dog.
eye to eye.
Okay, the
It's
Mac
all about-
Davis variety show ran for 2 years,
2 years? Yeah, it wasn't long. Eh?
74 to 76.
Yeah, the
I cannot
70s.
believe we're
right.
talking about Mac Davis.
That's not bad.
Why
Well,
can't you believe it? You mention him at any chance you get.
I want people to send me the record with the foot in the mouth. I can't find it in Los Angeles.
But,
I've
but
got a
you're the only
bootleg.
one who thinks that's funny.
I've got a bootleg of Crosby, Stills, Nash, and Davis that's really rare.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna go on record and saying there's no connection.
The thing about it is one of the things we need to note is these people were trying to make a living. They had a mortgage to pay. They had bills to pay. They had people they were responsible for. So when you become a commercial artist, and even the hippie artists like Crosby, Stills, and Nash and Young, they were doing this for the money. And Mac Davis had some success, and in order to keep his brand going, he became more commercial, had some hit country songs, made some movies. And it's hard to fault somebody, because if you're going to be pure to your music, then you need to stay in your living room or on your front porch playing. And once you go over to the Pizza Hut, or not the Pizza Hut, once you go over to the Pizza Inn and play for beer and tips, you're a professional. You're trying to make money. Okay.
Hold on, Elliot. I think you missed your calling. I think you should have became a Southern lawyer, because you're just blistering on about nonsense, filling up.
No, Elliot, you should have been a school teacher. That's what I think.
Yeah.
What
I think I make a pretty good
what
point,
Henry
Rob.
doesn't
I
know
think
is
I make
I
a pretty
need to
good
know.
point. All of these artists out here are commercial, and all you're arguing about.
That still doesn't connect Mac Davis to Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Well, I wasn't trying to connect them to them. I'm just trying to
Yeah,
give
you were.
a little bit of.
They mentioned him in the song.
There's a.
I am.
There's a
I'm
Beatles
just talking about Mac Davis.
Where's Mazzy? There's a Beatles connection to Mac Davis. Pretty sure. Yoko and Mac. That might have been Yoko's foot in Mac Davis's mouth.
Can I? There's no way Yoko Ono painted her toenails. Second point to make is, okay, name people that Crosby, Stills, and Nash shouted out in any of their songs. All I can recall is they said, by the time we got to Woodstock, right? That's the only thing I remember.
Joni Mitchell wrote that song.
Yeah, but I'm talking about them shouting out anything.
Other than Mac Davis?
I don't even recall them shouting out people. The only thing I can remember is they said Woodstock. That was like a real place and a thing. So the connection that they would mention Mac Davis in a song just doesn't.
No, they said
in their whole deal.
They said teach your children, and there was
right,
one of them.
One
of the children was named Mac Davis.
I don't recall as part of their shtick Crosby, Stills, and Nash shouting out anything. So the fact that they're going to shout out Mac Davis,
I can't recall it either.
They on their albums, the live albums, there's banter between songs.
But that's not a song where they're shouting out people. I mean, someone correct
shouting.
I
own
two Crosby, Stills, and Nash records. I don't recall them shouting out anyone famous.
No one got a perm because of Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
I had a perm in the 80s.
God, please show us a picture.
Well, wait a minute. Don't you remember?
One later.
Wait a minute, Wax. Don't you remember the song "Ohio" by Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young?
Okay, but they're mentioning
they mentioned Richard Nixon in that tune, if I remember correctly.
That's true.
Right?
Tin Soldiers.
Tin Soldiers and Mac Davis coming.
Let me, Bobby.
I mean, that song was a monster.
Bite your tongue,
come back
Joseph.
to you, Bobby. That was Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, and that song was written by Neil Young. Okay,
yeah,
we're talking about Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
It was written.
Isn't that who we're talking about?
10 days.
No, we're talking about Sans Young period because that's what Elliot say.
Oh, wow, Bruce Palmer. No, he never was with.
Everybody, get your Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young live albums out and check it out.
Yeah, I'm going to be playing that shit this week.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
And Four-Way Street is a great live record. It just is.
Yes, you know
I'm
why
not
it's
a
so
fan
good?
of Neil Young being with them, by the way.
Really?
I never was.
Really?
I think I think
he
Crosby, Stills, and
didn't add
Nash was a
anything.
much better lineup than when they added Neil Young. I like Neil Young's music, but I
do
like
too.
my Crosby, Stills, and Nash music minus Neil Young.
But live in concert, when they added Neil, it was incredible because when you got Steven and Neil going back and forth on guitar together, that was always good.
Yeah, Steven Stills
Right.
was a great guitar player, right? Not a bad blues guitar player. Better than he had a better feel for the blues than Neil did. Eh? I seen Neil Young. First time I seen him, he was a terrible. Well, he wasn't very good actually. It was in 1965, and
Wow.
he was with a band called the Minor Birds from a coffee house down in our
I
village.
think is that the one where Mac Davis opened for him?
Yeah, I
How
think
the fuck old are you?
he played the bongos in the band.
Would
And them
you,
days,
And wasn't Rick James in that? Wasn't Rick James in that band?
he was the lead
Minor
singer,
Birds.
Rick James. But for a black guy lead singing here in Toronto that early, in a rock band,
wow.
that was different. That was different. They were all Toronto was an R&B town in them days, right? And actually, that's the kind of music they were doing, the Minor Birds, right? And then I think they went to Detroit and did a couple of R&B tunes there. I don't know if it was ever released or nothing, but I think they tried.
All right, hold on. Christopher is finally coming in with some information. While Guinevere is primarily attributed to David Crosby, Mac Davis did co-write with the lyrics with him. The song was recorded in '69 and is a folk song.
Well, there you are.
I doubt it. Really?
Oh, that's a nice box set.
All right,
there.
so can you look at?
Great box set.
Does he have a song credit on it, Christopher? All right.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I think he gives them balls.
Great album.
So if that is the case, is that not reasonable? Is that not reasonable that there might be a reference to hoping Mac Davis would become more involved on the political aspects?
I think Mac Davis is right there.
True, Rex. Very true, Rex. It was a big
there's more chance of the lady with the foot in that picture than Mac Davis.
Yeah, Guinevere was not written by Mac Davis.
Guinevere is a great. I'm such a big David Crosby fan. I can't help it. He's a dick, but I love his music.
He said some nasty things, right? I mean, he's I don't know. He sort of got stupid, didn't he?
Well, he didn't like Daryl Hannah. He said she was predatory, and he didn't like that Neil left his wife for her.
Big, tall, good-looking blonde, not predatory. Give me a break, will you? Don't matter anyhow, right?
See, Jackson Browne wrote a song about Daryl Hannah called "In the Shape of a Heart." It's about a hole in the wall, the size of a fist, from something thrown that had missed. They did not have a good relationship.
I've thrown clocks at walls. That's about the only thing I've ever thrown at walls is clocks. That was in my younger days. The Big Bens, tick, 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 tick. And when they go off, it sounds like a church bell. Whee.
Whatever. We got 2 minutes. Any more Mac Davis information?
Please, no more.
Mac and Cheese Davis.
Is he still alive?
Yeah. Go ahead. He died like a year or two ago.
Oh, did he?
Did he really?
I think
Still dead, pretty much.
He did like a big publicity thing. I think he wrote a memoir or something, and not long after that he passed away. You're not wrong, Paul.
I think he died of foot and hoof disease.
Midnight Crate number 170 U.S. charts.
Oh yeah,
you-
Stephen, I understand girls, women.
Your internet connection was bad, Jim. What were you saying?
Trying to mention that Midnight Crazy, my favorite Mac Davis, made it all the way to number 174 on the U.S. charts.
All right, name one song from that album without looking at your computer or the album.
In the Ghetto.
That's not on that album.
Of course it is. In the Ghetto.
You know,
The Ghetto.
Ghetto.
you know,
I go to Ghetto Ralph's. I got Ghetto Ralph's.
you know, you have a problem when the main source of your humor base is Mac Davis.
Yeah. I'm deep into the Mac Davis pool. Anyway, there is no.
I don't know. When two of the people on the screen brought up Mac Davis, I didn't.
What's his real name? Mac. They can't be Mac on the birth.
No, it's Morris. It's Morris.
Mark. Oh, okay.
Bill
Morris.
K.
No, it's Morris. His first
Bill
name
K.
is Morris.
Oh, Morris. Oh, I see.
Bill K.
Morris. He's Jewish. Is he Jewish?
Nah,
I doubt it.
I don't think so.
No.
Oh,
Well, his last name was Davisstein.
David Shits.
Here's everyone's assignment because I'm ending the stream. Go watch North Dallas 40. Okay, go watch that. movie.
All right.
I just
All right.
watched Lonesome Dove for the
Good
first
movie.
time.
Good movie. Nick Nolte.
I got
No,
another.
no, no.
I got another tune.
Nick Nolte's
for
not in
time.
Lonesome Dove.
I'm ending the stream. You guys can talk to yourselves if you want.
Mavis Staples 99.5. Mavis Staples 99.5.
The stream is ending. The stream is ending. Thank you, everyone.
Stream is ending.
I'm putting us out of our misery.
I'm going to do it right
Stream
now.
is over.
Enjoyed it.